Reactions have been trailing the appointment of former Everton and Super Eagles forward Daniel AMOKACHI as special assistant to the president on sports. This new role, we believe, is to enable him make a substantial contribution to the development of sports in the country. One of the sports journalists that reacted swiftly is Tolulokpe Oguntimei.
I think it's a welcome development. I think this is the first time it's happening in the history of Nigeria that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be thinking about appointing a special advisor on sport. It has never happened before. And I think it also boils down to the yearnings of the people, because people want that kind of relationship because they felt sport has been neglected for quite some time. And the current administration doesn't deem it fit to give special recognition to sport. We know that a lot of our facilities have been lying fallow because we couldn't get the needed support from the federal government. And most times when they try to put together their budget, and most times it's always a sealed envelope, so you don't know what you get in a sealed envelope. So whatever you get to see in it, that's what you get to take. Unlike other agencies of federal government where they present their budget, they know what they are getting from the federal government. And I think appointing him right there will also go a long way in ensuring that we have a wonderful relationship with the federal government, and probably also push the case of sport to the federal government. So it will also smoothen the job of the honorable minister when he's presenting the budget. They can be able to see the sense in working on some certain areas that can really help the development of the game. I think it's a welcome development coming from the federal government, and I also want to wish Daniel AMOKACHI I also say congratulations to him, and I hope that he can really be able to deliver. A lot of people have been expressing doubt about the fact that AMOKACHI is coming from the football sector, and most times whatever ideas he wants to come up with will definitely be relating to football. And these are some of the people from a different school of thought who are wondering whether is it meant to be appointed as a football special advisor on football because it's coming from a football background. But on and on, I think AMOKACHI is somebody who grew up in Kaduna and also know the importance of sports generally, and he also realized that he's not going to just be just like the current Minister of Youth and Sports. He also realized that it's not just going to be Minister of Sport. He also must also work for the assiduously for the youth of this country. Recently, the Minister of Youth and Sports was able to secure 75 billion naira from the federal government to assist the youth in this country. It shows a lot about the current dynamics of the current administration and the way the sports sector, the Minister of Youth and Sports are thinking. And I think AMOKACHI has been known to be in good relationship with the current Minister of Youth and Sport. And then I think it's going to also be a very the relationship will surely be good because they also share so many things in common. And I think it's also going to guide him on areas that he needs to work on, because the minister is not focusing just on sports, soccer alone. He's working with other federations, maybe basketball, swimming, we name it, athletics, and so many. He has visited so many centers to work with them and give them the promise that the ministry is ready to work with them. And I think AMOKACHI also told that same line. Now, people should not be afraid because it's coming from the football background. And I think it's somebody who has been around for quite some time. And I've been in touch with some of his children, and one of them is into gymnastics. So I know definitely you also realize the importance of investing in those areas of sports, because his daughter is into gymnastics beside the two boys that are into football. So people should not be afraid. And I think AMOKACHI is going to deliver. He's going to work very well, whether it's whether it's special advisor on football or sports. But being made the special advisor on sports, it will surely deliver on the promises of the current administration. One thing I would definitely tell him, he should be aware of the pitfalls of the Nigeria Football Federation. He should not get too involved in the politics of the Nigeria Football Federation. He should keep an open mind. He should be objective in his assessment of the way things are in Nigerian sport. Sports is not right now the way we want it to be. A lot of policies are not going well for sports in this country, and sport has been neglected. We also want him to preach. I want him to tell the federal government that sport should be seen as a business enterprise. It's one of the highest gross earning industry in the world, if not the fourth highest in the industry in the whole wide world. So the federal current administration must also see it that way. I want him to also make it clear to them that they should also they should encourage the state government, the federal government to gradually hands off sport and allow the private sector to come in. That way, more money can come in, and the private sector can also see it as a business that can really invest in. I want him to also be able to work out programs, policies that can lead to the growth of the game. And one major thing that we've been talking about is tax rebate for people from the private sector who wants to invest in sport. Most times the federal government have been paying lip service to it, but I want to see the kind of situation whereby they can really back that up with action, with a main policy, a bill in the National Assembly that will surely be giving tax rebate to some of those people in the private sector who wants to come in.
And Secretary to the Federal Government, Boss Mustafa, signed a letter confirming the 47-year-old's appointment dated August 17, 2020. According to a statement from the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, AMOKACHI's new role will see him advise the president on sports-related matters. The former Everton of England player was earlier in the year named Nigeria's football ambassador. Although a ceremonial role as ambassador, he is expected to mentor youngsters. His role was to assist the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development to scout and mentor players. AMOKACHI enjoyed success during his playing years, where he featured for Premier League side Everton Club and Brugge and Besiktas, among other clubs, before his retirement. The 47-year-old won the FA Cup and FA Charity Shield during his time with the Toffees and lifted the Turkish Cup with Besiktas. The Bull, as he is fondly called by his admirers, had 44 caps and 13 goals for the Super Eagles during his playing years. He was part of the Nigerian national team that won the 1994 Africa Cup of Nations and featured prominently at the year's World Cup tournament and the 1998 edition. AMOKACHI also helped the West Africans clinch the Olympic gold medal in 1996, scoring in the final against Argentina. He was the assistant coach to Stephen Keshi at the 2013 African Cup of Nations in South Africa, where the Super Eagles secured the title for the third time in their history. AMOKACHI has also previously managed Nigeria's sides Nasarawa United, Eyimba and Ifeanyi, as well as Finnish club JS Hercules.
Kijken en voorzetten. Mooi! Nee, AMOKACHI achter de rug. Het is ruim verdiend. 1-0.